if they don't know what we're talking about, it's because they're watching one brand of news, because there are news networks that are not giving this a lick of coverage. Because we are no longer concerned with truth and clarity. We are concerned with the algorithm.
And so one of the most important things we can do is simply just say it is evil.
Welcome to The Gathering Greenhouse, a podcast to help us grow together.
Really well done there. Really
Thank you.
Done.
We've been
this podcast is going to be great.
Yeah,
I can just tell. It's just you started off so well. This is going to be amazing.
Or it's only downhill from here. So
either way, it's either going to be epic or it's going to be a train wreck.
Are we going to talk about the Hamas protests on all the campuses across America?
Would you like to? I saw you posted something.
I'm so fired up about this.
Well, we should definitely talk about it then.
I don't know if I'm ready.
Do you want to save that towards the end?
I don't know if I can do it with sanctification.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's problematic. Yeah.
So you don't want to talk about it?
No, I mean, maybe we will. We'll see. If I get all fired up.
Okay, so we'll save that towards the end then. We'll see.
Because I would suggest that, see, here we go. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah,
I don't actually think the issue is what we're seeing right now. I think what we're seeing right now
Could we explain just for a moment what we're seeing right now?
It was complete. If they know, they know.
Okay.
Right? Because here's the thing. If they don't know what we're talking about, it's because they're watching one brand of news, because there are news networks that are not giving this a lick of coverage. Like, I got up this morning and I scrolled my Samsung news. Like, I read my news every morning. There was not one story, and there were like 30 stories about a certain trial in New York.
I've noticed that.
I don't want to know about the trial in New York. I don't care.
There is a lot of Trump stuff on both sides.
I wasn't going to say it.
Oh, really? But I mean, I think anybody who reads news...
Everybody, trial.
So I have several apps that I go to for news stuff, and one in particular, I'm not going to say where, but there's always a lot of... I just try to mix up. I don't try to do one source. So there's one that had, like, every time, because I think they get clicks on it.
Yeah.
And that's why there's always a cycle of Trump stuff on there.
Yeah.
Because people, either you love them or hate them, both ways you're going to read about them.
It's because we are no longer concerned with truth and clarity. We are concerned with the algorithm. And Trump drives the algorithm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. Hey, welcome to the Gathering Podcast. That wasn't it. We ruined it. We're all downhill. Well, let's start out
that Rudy Tooty fresh and fruity.
So, hopefully we have some time. I would love to hear your thoughts on it more, but if it's appropriate about that.
Oh, my thoughts are appropriate. I just don't know if I can deliver them in a good way.
Yeah. So we have a real treat.
Just don't support terrorists. I think we can all agree on that.
Generally speaking, we
terrorists
don't chant death to any group of people.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't.
Right?
Probably wise advice.
Don't be a racist.
Learn your history. Like, has this ever happened before?
You don't have to, maybe 80 years. Just go back.
Have we ever had police officers saying Jewish people need to go home and stay in their houses? I mean, has that ever happened before?
It's wild.
The answer is yes.
Yeah. Well, we're trying not to talk about it. So I'm just going to go right into our. So if you've ever wanted a breakfast in a bag of chips, you are in luck today.
I can honestly say I have never wanted that.
So maybe a construction worker who's going to the gas station real quick.
I eat a bag of chips for breakfast all the time. Like, I'm happy to do that.
You're happy to do it.
But I've never thought to myself, what I really want is my breakfast in a bag of chips.
It's like I'm traveling and there was nothing else edible. Okay, chips. Chips it is.
Okay. So for all of you watching here, or listening, this is. Does anybody go to IHOP? Is anybody an IHOP fan? I do not like IHOP.
I haven't gone in.
I have had a long string of bad experiences.
Same here.
At IHOPs.
I got the stuffed French toast. It was a donut. They called it stuffed French toast. I'm like, you're serving me a donut right
from
now.
Tim Hortons.
Yeah. It was like a cream stick. I'm like, this is not stuffed French toast. I don't think you understand what French toast is.
Do you remember when they changed to IHOP? International House of Burgers.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Like when that went down, I was like, I don't
remember that at all.
That was all publicity stunt. They liked IHOP.
You have burgers now.
Obviously, IHOP likes a publicity stunt. So
I have a question. Does the International House of Prayer, do they call themselves IHOP?
Mm-hmm. I don't know how that works.
How is that legal? because WWF had to change to WWE. Because the World Wildlife Foundation sued them.
That's why they had to change?
Yeah, that's why they had to change.
I thought they were just rebranding because of the steroid scandal.
Maybe that too. Now there's plenty more scandals with them, but so this is, if you're listening, none of us are IHOP fans, but if you're listening, this is the Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity. I'm guessing that's on the menu there. It sounds like it would be like a menu item. Matt looks like he's going to Google it for us.
This morning, let us know if it's on the menu.
So anyway, if you're not familiar,
if you're watching this from IHOP,
I don't think you could probably see it from here. But what it is, strawberry top pancakes with syrup and bacon. So that's the flavor. So the whole Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity. So we've had bad experience before with bacon flavored chips.
We've never had a good experience.
No, we've never had
a good experience. Anything that's like.
Bacon is good as bacon. Fake bacon is not bacon.
Do I want? No.
I mean, at least they look like full chips on top. I put way too many out. I'm gonna go hand deliver here.
They're like, they have like a pink.
Why are they so pink?
Here, Matt, I'm just gonna give
I would rather eat birthday cake batter potato chips.
I'll just give
So
this is the worst idea I've ever. Oh my gosh.
So
they smell kind of gross.
It used to be a thing, but now it's gone.
It tastes like disgusting fake bacon with the aroma of horrible fake strawberry.
That is disgusting.
That's so bad.
Absolutely horrible. That is gross. Gross.
Don't do it.
It's like a chemical. Like you get like savory, then you get like this weird fruity chemical flavor together, and just leaves a terrible taste in your mouth.
This is one of those moments when I am so grateful that God has given me such a bad sense of taste and smell.
I mean, I definitely get
the burden is the blessing right now.
I would say the strawberry is the more overwhelming on there, but it's a terrible strawberry flavoring.
Oh, so
we are opening a class action lawsuit against Lay's. You or someone you love has been horribly marred.
Why would IHOP want their name on this? If this is what
Rudy
Tooty
would
Fresh and
IHOP
Tooty
want their
like?
name on IHOPs? They're horrible, and their chips are horrible. IHOP, what is wrong with you?
Let's say you're the you're the CEO of IHOP. You're like, let's do a collab with Lay's. I trust them. It's fine. I think they got this.
It's not the Lay's part that messed up. It's the IHOP part. Lay's, what are you doing?
You're saying why would Lay's want their name on this?
I remember.
World champions don't hang out with minor league athletes. You know what I'm saying? Like
this isn't the minor leagues, man. This is
below
prison league.
This is a little league from middle of nowhere, Arkansas. That's what it is.
No, they play good ball there
in Arkansas. They have to share one, but
I remember back a long time ago, and I thought this was going to be a good podcast. Now everybody just mad.
I can't get the taste out of my mouth.
Don't tell me you like this.
This is awful.
I don't hate it.
What?
Matt, you're fired. You have horrible judgment.
Did you finish them all? Okay. We're just going to deliver Matt.
As soon as this podcast is over, you need to take your Lay's and go home.
Hey, I have a message.
By far the worst thing we've tried.
Laura, if you're
watching.
Get your man in line, okay?
Yeah. I still have some like lingering, disgusting flavor.
I know, it won't go away.
I'm drinking like half this.
I would, if we had acid here, I'd drink it.
Yeah.
That was so.
We might have to go pause the podcast to find different food. To like,
that's just
it's so bad.
It's like going up into my nasal passageway.
I might eat one of these totally real organic plants.
They would taste better.
It totally tastes better.
Matt's still munching on them.
I couldn't even tell you what it was that I tasted, but I knew I never wanted to taste it again the rest of my life. That was so, Steve, shame on you.
I had a good feeling that
it was going to be bad.
It was going to be really bad.
I am still getting I smell it.
It was so strange that I had to try it.
I guess I want to know where you found that.
Walmart.
Okay, that's why I've never seen it.
The only good thing was it was a small bag. That was the only positive.
Listen. Walmart.
I'm like,
Walmart.
Are you kidding me?
Hey, I know you're paying attention to this podcast. You carry some horrible things in your store. And still, this one I'm shocked by.
Yeah.
That is how bad this is. Get this out of your stores.
I'm trying to envision the meeting where this.
Me too.
Like somebody said, "Hey, we should do a pancake flavored chip," and it was like, "Yeah, okay, let's try that."
I would do that. That sounds great.
Let's connect with IHOP and see if we. Okay, let's do that.
Our favorite menu item is a Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity. Let's do that.
Let's try it.
They no longer serve it.
Oh, they don't?
I wish we had a camera over here. Matt is just casually just eating the chips out of the bag joyfully as he films his pot.
Are you going for that initial like flavor on there? You just
did you do this so that we could talk about suffering?
Actually, it's a nice tie-in there. I didn't know.
God, why did you do this to me?
I didn't know they were going to be. Like I said, I had a good feeling that they were going to be terrible. But
when I ate that chip,
I
had so many regrets. I regretted.
My stomach feels a little nauseous right now.
I regretted that we ever started this podcast.
Matt just dropped one on the
regretted
floor.
that I give you the freedom to bring chips in.
Yeah,
I have so many regrets. It was just.
It could also be that I've not eaten food since noon yesterday.
No, I would rather be starving.
I would rather die.
Absolutely.
This is how you know. Like, I despise broccoli. It is the worst thing on this planet, in my opinion. And
even like steamed broccoli.
I don't like any broccoli.
No broccoli.
I will tolerate it in broccoli cheddar soup at Panera. That's it.
What about celery?
I don't mind celery because I put peanut butter on it.
So you like peanut butter?
Yeah. It's just an excuse to eat copious amounts of peanut butter. But if there was broccoli here, I would probably eat it to get the taste of this out of my mouth. I don't know how else to describe how nasty that was.
Yeah,
this is gross.
Oh, all right. So suffering.
We have suffered this morning.
Yes.
Wait, when does this get released? At noon? We have suffered just now.
Shall we go into some questions here?
I don't know.
I'm going to be angry.
Where do we go from here?
I just don't know. I don't know where we go from there. I think maybe we would just wrap it.
Close it up.
Yeah. I think the best advice we can give to people at this point is don't ever get the, what are they called?
Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity.
Fresh and Fruity, IHOP pancake, bacon flavored.
They're not going to last.
Potato chips.
They're not going to last.
You don't think? You don't think they're like going to sell off the shelves and people are going to be coming back clamoring for more?
No.
I'm a little concerned. There's 4 people in this room, and one of them is eating the bag like it's the best thing in the world. So
he does not represent 25%.
Is 25% of people going to love this product?
No. Matt does not represent 25% of the world.
What percentage?
Matt.
one
billionth.
More than a one.
Of 7.
1/7 billionth.
1/7 billionth.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a one of a kind.
One of a kind.
I would hope so.
You need a more unique name than Matt. It's just too generic for you.
Well, I thought we renamed him Baby Boss.
Yeah.
Or Boss Baby.
Yes.
Boss Baby.
In high school, they used to call me Sassy Sasquatch.
Sassy Sasquatch seems really redundant. You could have been just Sassy Squatch or
Sasquatch.
Yeah.
It is kind of
Sasquatch.
Sasquatch covers it pretty much.
David is cringing.
He's like, "Can we move on here? Can we move on?"
We call Matt the best drummer in Dayton.
Well, we actually had a really good sermon on Sunday. Believe it or not, we had a great sermon on Sunday.
I'm gonna try to take that.
Great sermon on Sunday.
Believe it or not,
Bad chips
here
today.
Finally.
I mean, your sermons are getting way better. Way better.
Only took 10
It's an
years.
inside joke, but they're getting way better. So my question,
can I speak to that just for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Because there is a truth here.
Yeah.
That maybe I shouldn't say this because it's going to be a little bit off-putting maybe for people.
A divisive comment.
People love a sermon on suffering.
Yeah,
they love it, and I can't.
Ironic, isn't it?
I can't wrap my head around that. But every time I preach on suffering, people are like, "Oh, that was sermon.
it. That was it."
Okay. But I don't know.
Because I think people often try to make sense of that, or it backs up something they're thinking.
Yeah, right. But the irony of it is the reason we love a sermon on suffering is because we think it's about us.
Yes.
And the whole point of a sermon on suffering is to say it's not about you.
Yeah. It's yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go on.
Go on. Okay. So my question here is why does evil exist? What does the Bible say about it? What is your
good one to start with? Yeah, because nobody's perfect, right? I mean, I think actually it's that simple. Evil exists because people aren't perfect, and we bring our imperfections in, and imperfections bring evil.
Yeah, I threw that into Chat GPT.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I did that.
Chat GPT, why do you? I mean, why does evil exist?
I'm like, this is actually a really interesting question to see. Like,
Chat GPT, why does evil exist?
I am. Wait.
Yes. No, it did not do that. Not yet.
Okay.
But it gave, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 different reasons. And the first one was biblical. Essentially, what you said on Sunday.
Maybe it was listening.
Maybe it was listening to it. And then it gave, more of the, like spiritual view of it, where it talks about, like, in order for there to be good, there has to be evil. In order for pain creates good things. So it's kind of along those, like, still same biblical themes, and then it branched out from there a little bit more.
Interesting. I had a really interesting interaction with Chat GPT this week. Last week. So I actually use it in my sermon preparation sometimes to try to get a perspective on what people think about. Because it is a reflection of, it's not a reflection of truth, it's a reflection of groupthink.
Groupthink, right? Yeah. So all information that exists for that period of time, what is the consensus of that?
So it can sometimes be helpful for me in thinking, like, how do I want to phrase this, or how do I speak this to people in a way that it hits them where they're at? But I also use it sometimes when I'm working on the Renew Journal.
Yeah.
And what I simply do is, like, for some of the Renew Journal, I'm looking for a bunch of passages on one thing, and because it's got the whole Bible catalog, right? And it's got, like, the wealth of all time in it. I'll just say, hey, give me 30 verses on suffering, and then I can really quick scroll through those and pick. I want to hit these 3 or 4 that I want to. So I asked it, give me 10 verses on suffering, and it responded by giving me, like, 3 Bible verses, a couple verses from the Quran, a couple verses from some Hindu text.
Interesting.
And I said, so I responded to it. I said, why did you give me all of these other verses? Because you have only ever given me Bible verses before, right? Because, I mean, we do this every week, me and Chat GPT. And it responded, I just thought that you would want a more wider perspective that maybe would help you to broaden your perspective and learn a little bit more.
Oh gosh, that's scary.
And I just said, how about you just do what I asked you to do?
For real.
It apologized.
That's creepy.
It said, I'm sorry, here are Bible verses.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
Because, usually it does a pretty good job at picking the relevant verses. Usually it does, which it was shocking to me with all the misinformation out there on the Bible, that it was able to, like, find the ones that actually get to the core of what the truth is.
Yeah. So I don't know, somewhere somebody tinkered with the algorithm in the last week or so that it just all of a sudden decided
wants to be, let's be more inclusive.
I don't know so much that somebody tinkered with it so much that it might have also realize that, hey, when someone asks me this, often a follow-up question is, can you show me other, like, sources? Because I think it's not just, I think it learns. Like, I think
it does, but
does it learn for you specifically on your account?
Yes, and
yes, and but because I've got,
just in a thread.
I was
thread only.
I was very early in
all interactions
with Chat GPT. So Chat GPT and I have a very long relationship like this, and for it to just all of a sudden out of the blue, like after a long time, many interactions, just all of a sudden change the way it's answering.
No, that's weird.
Yeah,
that's weird.
I have found I have to be very, like, so I would have to ask that question and be like, can you, from a Christian, like, you would say something like, can you, from this type of Christian viewpoint, make this, show me evidence for this, you have to get really, really detailed. Otherwise you just get wild.
Can you give me the perspective from a Southern Baptist Christian from the North Carolina region who believes in predestination?
And if you're asking it to, like, write something for you, you have to, like, say, write this in the voice of, and then describe that person that you're trying to have it.
That's where the strength of Chat GPT is, I think. Where
right, when you learn how to prompt it's really cool.
Yeah.
If not, it just sounds like Chat GPT.
Well, do you think? Did we answer this question? Like, we spent about 1 minute answering why does evil exist?
Let me dig a little bit more.
Yeah, I think we need
real quick. So there, there's a lot of reasons that bad things happen.
Yeah.
And, you have to give the caveat that not every bad, and maybe this is another question, maybe not every bad thing is evil, right?
Yeah.
And we talked about this on Sunday, that not every bad thing is evil. But does that mean evil doesn't exist? No, evil does exist. And evil does exist because of human choice, right?
So we're saying specifically when we said evil exists, not in like the philosophical way, we're saying physically exists in people.
Yeah,
Certain people are evil.
Let me back up a little bit
Yeah.
more, because I wasn't quite precise enough on that.
Okay.
So evil exists in this world because of human choice.
Okay.
Right? Evil exists because of the evil one. Right? So because of Satan.
Yeah.
And pride.
Yeah.
And you could probably do a fun study on how pride is really at the root of most evil.
But does evil have to exist for good to exist?
Say that the other way around.
Does good exist? Does good exist? Therefore, evil has to exist.
You're close.
Evil is proof positive that there is good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can't. Evil is
The lack
of the
Right.
good. It is what is against and opposed and outside of good. And so if there is evil, we have to acknowledge that there is good.
Yeah.
Right. Like I've sometimes heard it argued that it's like darkness. Does darkness exist?
Yeah.
No. Does it? Is there such a
Well, it's
thing?
like hot and cold, right?
But I don't know which is which.
Yeah.
Like I think there is like is there heat but not cold?
There's one of them. I think there's.
As soon as we go down that science road, I'm
But you're
out.
right. There is only one. There's
Yeah.
not hot and cold. There's only cold. There's
Right.
only cold or absence of cold.
Darkness is the absence of light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
In the beginning,
So there's
God created the
only
heavens and the
good,
earth,
but
and God said, "Let there be."
lack of good is evil. Is that what we're saying?
What's that?
Is the lack of good evil?
That's what I'm
That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
God said, "Let there be light."
Yeah.
Right? And so the light was created by God. Therefore, darkness is the absence of light.
Yeah.
God is the source of good. Therefore, evil is the absence of good.
When you start looking at that, there's a lot of other things in creation that's that same way, same concept.
Yeah. So evil exists because we choose our way instead of God's way.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. That's a good way to. Okay, so if we answered that question enough.
Enough. I'm sure not fully.
Not fully, but enough. Okay. So the next question really goes along those same lines. So should we just accept that evil things happen, or let me say it, and not try to stop them? So let me say that again. Should we just accept
these questions were not written very well this week?
Should we just
Come on,
accept
ChatGPT.
that evil things happen and not try to stop them?
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Okay.
Hold on, wait. I got a quick question for John on the ChatGPT
We can go
thing.
back to it.
Yep.
So could we dump the whole sermon into ChatGPT?
Yeah.
And then ask it to give us 3 questions for the podcast?
Yes.
There-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you probably have to have a subscription, but you could let it watch all of the podcasts and say, based on what we
Could
do,
it really do that?
Based on the way we interact in this podcast,
Yeah,
what
so,
are 3 questions that would work for this podcast?
Yes, and we have.
But I write the questions.
Yeah, not for this, but I've
For the clips.
I'll basically I'll take the transcript from the sermon and I'll say, hey, can you highlight, give me 2 or 3 sentences or groupings that seem impactful or seem to stand out or whatever, and it will usually identify 10 or so, and that lets me sometimes when I go to edit, I know what time stamp to kind of go for.
You'd really have to hone in on the right way to say that, I
Yeah.
think, because that seems like it would be something that you'd get a lot of wrong answers on.
Well, so I actually there's one that I've used. It's not ChatGPT, but it's built off of ChatGPT, but it's made specifically for sermons. And so it's like a Christian company has built this, and they kind of know what you do, and it's cool. It's really helpful. I can even I can do keywords, or hey, I want every sentence he said about this topic. It's really helpful. But
Okay, back to our difficult question to understand.
It's fun stuff.
So should we accept that evil happens, or should we? Okay, I said it wrong again. Should we accept that evil happens and not try to stop it?
Right. So there's this question of we can't control whether or not there is evil.
Yep.
So should we just be like, well, okay, I guess evil exists, or should we work to try to
Combat
stop
it.
Yeah.
Stop it. Evil
What
from
do you
happening.
think?
I think we should try to stop it, right? That's what I think. I mean, I just think of if we were inherently good, but I believe that we have sin nature in us. Therefore, we have to work to be good. We were created to do good, but we have a sin nature that causes us to do evil. So therefore, there are some people who are just predisposed to do evil. Serial killers, terrorists, the list goes on and on of people who are want to do evil.
Cleveland Browns fans.
Yeah, all of them. all those, the list goes on and on of evils in this world. So therefore, we can't just allow evil to happen. I think in a lot of cases, you probably could. I mean, you can't stop every evil. If you try to correct every single person's wrong grammar, then it's endless. It's an endless cycle for you.
Trying to make people get the fewer and less thing. Right?
Exactly. Yes, you're never going to get rid of all that evil in the world. But there are certain cases where like, let's just use the example of people who want to do bad things to kids. They created a registry and made those people check in. So they created a system to minimize the evil that we have found out that those people can't stop doing that. Once they're identified, they pretty much very rare that they stop doing that. So they had to register them. So
would you say that it is evil if you have the ability to stop evil and don't? Are you now evil?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say
it depends on. That gets really contextual.
How far you take it, because it depends on your position. So for me, I'm not like
but I said, in the context, if you have the ability.
If I have the ability. But I think everyone has the ability to bring it to the next level person.
Okay,
right?
so that's the next question.
If I see something, I am morally responsible to pass it along. Once I've passed it along, if I don't have control over the decision, I just have control over the information that has been given to me.
Yeah.
I have an obligation to say something about it.
Yeah.
I truly do believe that.
All right.
If I stay silent and something bad happens and I could have prevented it, that's on me.
Okay. I think most reasonable people would agree with that.
Yeah.
They would agree that if you see evil happening and you have the ability to at least do something about it, then you should step in and do something. I think most people believe that.
Yeah.
Our culture completely rejects that
absolutely.
notion. Completely rejects it.
Absolutely, because we are in a culture where truth is relative.
Yes, because something might look evil to us, and someone else will say, well, that's not really evil. That's they're like, for example, calling for the death of Jewish people.
Yeah,
right.
There we go.
Like happening today on a college campus near you. There are students chanting death to Israel.
Not some obscure college campus. A prominent.
Well, no, it's not just one though; it's everywhere.
Yeah, no, I'm saying the one that's in the news right now.
Well, it's Columbia University is the big one, but it's happening at Yale. It's happening at several of the Ivy League schools, but it's happening all over the place. And so the question is, do we just say, well, that's their truth? Or do we say, if you have the ability to stop that, you should, and if you don't, you're evil? And do we say, if you have the ability to do something about it? Like, what if like everybody who donates to those schools just pulled their money? What if there was such an outcry on social media from people of all walks of life? Because I think people from all walks of life condemn that kind of rhetoric. What if there was this massive outcry across all social medias from people on the left, people on the right, people in the middle, saying this is awful, this is wrong. We support law enforcement in fixing this. We support the college's administration in getting rid of this. That would make a difference. But we live in this time and in this world where we just all kind of hunker down and say, you know what, just go along to get along. Just like 80 years ago in Nazi Germany.
Yeah. So what control? So for instance, like myself, what control do I really have over?
You have a voice.
I have a voice, right?
You have a voice.
But that's as far as I could possibly take it. I mean, like, could I write a letter? Could I,
Yeah.
I mean, you could do all those things. I don't know where the line is drawn.
Like, here's the thing: is one of the magical things about social media is my voice is much bigger than it used to be, and I may not necessarily know someone who can do something about this, but I bet you I know someone who knows someone, and if they are energized by using my voice, then maybe they'll use their voice.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's one of the most important things with evil that we can do is actually call it as such. And so I think one of the things that we don't like to do is we all know something's wrong. We all know something's broken, something's evil. So one of the most important things we can do is simply just say, it is evil. It is wicked. This is a violation of the order that got created. This is something that is offensive to him. And so that is one of the most important things that all of us can do. That costs us nothing. You don't have to have any authority. You don't really need to have any special type of influence to just say, this is evil. You know, and I think another similar topic would be abortion. You know, we caught some flack on the internet because we are, as a church, we're very vocal about how we feel about abortion, how it is an evil that we don't like. And a lot of people are like, oh, you know, you shouldn't talk about those things. You should stay silent from those things. But if we really believe it's evil and it's an affront to God, the most important thing we can do is simply to say that that's, you know, how we see it. And, you know, but you have to say that. It starts with what you say and how you speak.
Yeah, and I think we should clarify this because we've been consistent on this. You know, when October 7th happened, you know, we right away came out and said that was evil, right? We didn't hold back on that. And I think what we're seeing today, this week.
Okay, can you just say what October 7th is for a second?
Yeah, that's when Hamas came into Israel and murdered, raped, destroyed innocent people, civilians, in horrific and awful ways that we still don't know the full extent of.
Right.
But it was awful. It was horrific. It was evil. And what we're seeing on college campuses today, this week, is a continuation of that. It is a full-throated endorsement of what Hamas did on that day. And that is evil. It is evil incarnate, and it should be called out. And we ought to not, you know, cower and say, well, you know, that's politically incorrect, and, you know, we want to be tolerant and yada, yada, yada. No, it is evil. It is awful. And when you're calling for the continued, you know, assault and destruction of a group of people, we all understand that that's wrong. And if it was any other group of people in the world, any other group of people besides the Jewish people, everybody would condemn it. Everybody immediately would say, this is wrong, this is awful. But because it's the Jewish people, apparently it's okay. All right, I'm done. You know what? We all have Jewish names. All four of us in this room. How you like them apples?
But the Stephen from the Bible had the PH.
Yeah, and he died.
He did. So I don't know if I don't know what links. I don't know what links there are with that.
I say we take Stephen here out back and stone him.
Hey.
Technically,
what kind of?
Didn't just about
it's a bad idea.
Bible character die.
Well, yeah, but they didn't get stoned.
Well, yes, every Bible character has died, Matt. Like,
so Stephen got stoned.
Can we call them characters?
John got dipped in boiling oil.
I always wondered that. Like, can we call him a Bible character?
I think Matthew may have gotten speared.
Yeah,
I don't remember how Matt did, but yeah,
Matt died from eating Lay's chips.
Had really bad endings. Not David. Died in the palace.
Nice.
So I'm technically Jonathan though, so I'll take that one.
Also died on the battlefield.
That's glorious.
Yeah, Jonathan was cool. Okay. Question here. If Christians suffer like everyone else, why does the Bible say they will prosper?
Ooh.
That's a good, very deep question.
That is. Yeah. So
deep question.
So the Bible clearly in lots of places says that Christians will prosper, right? People who follow God, who obey God will prosper. They'll be blessed. You know, insert whatever words you want there. It's there all over in the Bible, right?
Yeah.
And let's be honest. Are you ever frustrated that doesn't seem to be true for you?
No, never.
John, are you ever frustrated
that I don't prosper?
Yeah.
Well, so,
I feel like I do prosper.
So you're asking two questions.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
On the first level, yes, it is frustrating because there are things in my life that don't feel like I'm prospering actually as a result of decisions I made in following Christ. But I know, truthfully, I know that the prospering is that when I am choosing the things God wants for me, there is a different type of prospering and an ultimate prosperity that awaits me.
Yeah.
And so I know that, but on a very human emotional level, often it does feel like it's like, why am I suffering? You know, I'm doing what you want me to do.
let's get away from the Sunday school answers for a second, right? Because let's acknowledge something. The three of us sitting here right now, we'll not worry about Matt. He's not on camera.
One 1/7 billionth of the population.
This does apply to him as well. But the three of us who are sitting here today have made a choice at some point in life that we were going to be pastors.
Yeah.
And the result of that is that our level of prosperity, as we think of prosperity, and we'll get there, but our level of prosperity is significantly lower than most people at our age and stage of life.
Yeah.
That's true for you guys now. I was there. It will be true for you when you get to my stage of life, right? Because I am here, and I'm going to say.
Speaking of that, now,
as someone who's 50 years old, who is at the highest level of his profession that he can be, with significant education, and doing by most measures a decent job.
A good job. I know you don't want to say good, but you do a good job.
Well,
the metrics show.
I'm trying to keep the bar low. But with all that in mind, like my level of prosperity is ridiculously lower than other people my age, my stage of life, all those other factors in other careers, right? So that's just the reality for us.
No one would look at you and your lifestyle and say, that guy is prosperous, right? They wouldn't.
Wait. What does that mean? Are you talking about like the way I look and dress and
you drive a 2-door Honda Accord? Like it's not like the.
I'm just saying. No one would say this guy lives in poverty. I wouldn't say they live in poverty, but no one would look at you and say, "Man, that's like if they want to live a prosperous lifestyle, I want that job."
No, I'm not. We need to make sure we're not talking. There are pastors out there who live a lavish lifestyle, right? We're not talking about those guys. We're not talking about those guys.
If your name is Creflo Dollar, right?
Is it Creflo? Best prosperity gospel pastor name ever.
None of us have a private jet. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes. And so if we're honest, there are probably times when you say, I wish I could do more for my family, right? I wish I could give more to my kids. I wish that, I wish we could go to Disney World more often. All these things, right? And so, look, it is a reality that sometimes as a Christian, as a follower of Christ, you make choices, you make decisions that mean you're not going to prosper. Right.
Yeah.
And now we flip the script. Is that really prospering?
See, I think that's my point on this. Is it when we look at other people, when we look what other people have, that's the wrong direction to look.
Right.
We should not that. Only leads to frustration and anxiety and all the other things that come from looking, because there's always someone else to look to, right? Even the billionaire list, richest person, that's always going up and down.
Who is richest right now? Is Elon?
I don't think so, because his stock has gone down quite a bit.
It's Putin.
I can't remember, but that list changes all the time, like month to month, year to year. Those people aren't on top. It just depends on how their stock is doing. But there's the point is, no matter where you are in life, you're always trying to keep up with the people around you. No matter if you have a little or enough to get by or a lot, we all strive for more. We all want more. It doesn't stop. And I think when we come to that realization of it's not actually about the possessions that we have, it's about striving to be content in the situation we're in and being grateful. And if you can be content and grateful, and that is something that has to be done on a regular basis.
Yeah. Sheryl Crow said it really well, right?
Pave parking lot and bring in paradise.
No, it's not.
Wait. Pave paradise. What is it?
They paved paradise and put up a parking lot.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, no. Steve only knows Rihanna songs. No, she said it's not getting what you want, it's wanting what you get. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of depth to that we can, like you just said, we can spend all our time looking at what other people have, looking around us, or we can spend all of our time looking at what we don't have, right? And either of those pursuits is going to lead us to misery. And we will feel like we're not blessed, we will feel like we're not prosperous. Or we can choose to simply say, what has God given me? And is it enough? And it's always enough. And I think that's the key. The blessedness, the prosperity that a Christian is promised is not material. It's in some ways it's emotional and it's spiritual, but it is contentment. That's, we have the ability to be content with what we have, right? Philippians 4, last chapter in Philippians, one of the best chapters in the Bible, because it walks us through what this looks like.
I feel that good choices are kind of like compounding interest. Is it the more you stick to good choices in your life, the more it starts to change you, change your outlooks, change your perspective, helps you to understand wise choices, and they become more natural to you. It just pays dividend. But if you, just like compounding, if you take money out or choose the satisfaction, immediate gratification, then you aren't cashing in on that over time. It's not building a life that's built on something solid.
Yeah, you're always moving in a spiral, right? And you're either spiraling up or spiraling down, and it really comes back to perspective, and choices, and influences.
Yeah. How do you teach your kids that?
Like I just did.
There's a slide.
Like what you just did? What do you mean? What you just did? Were you just saying?
Yeah. Like I used to teach my kids about a funnel.
Okay.
Right. I said life is like a funnel. Right. And
life is like a box of
as
chocolates.
you go down a funnel, it gets smaller.
And were they like all just standing there like in complete attention?
Well, no,
Or were they like, Dad, you're crazy?
They're taking notes.
They were taking notes.
They're taking notes.
Do they all have pens, like their own pens and notebooks?
They don't love that stuff as much as I do.
Okay.
But they generally give me that stuff for Christmas and my birthday. So that's pretty cool.
Well, that's my question here. Is it the, sitting them down and explaining it, or is it the modeling it that's going to stick with them?
So I think it's a combination, right? When they're really young, it's the modeling.
Yeah.
But they don't know that yet.
Yeah.
And then as they get older, you're actually having conversations about this, and especially when you can point to things, say, hey, you see what happened there. That person's making really bad choices, and as a result of their really bad choices, now they have fewer choices and they have fewer options, right? And the reason they're making bad choices is because their perspective is all wrong.
Yeah.
And they got to change their perspective. When you change your perspective and you change your influences, then you make bad choices. And bad choices mean fewer options.
Yes.
Good choices give you more options, but good choices come from the right perspective and the right influences. That's all in Philippians 4 too.
Yeah. So one of my kids, I'm not gonna say which one because I don't want to call him out, but came home.
I don't want to call him out.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not going to call him out.
Them out. But came home from the book fair with a book that cost $15, had a shark tooth on it.
That's awesome.
Awesome, right? But then he's like, can I have $15 for this? And we're like, no. Like, he took his own money to school, and we're like, no.
Do you not want your kid to read?
There's this thing called a library.
Do you not love your child?
Where you could go?
A what?
Library.
Okay.
You could get unlimited books, and they are fantastic.
Do they have shark teeth on them?
Maybe. I don't know. I've never looked for a shark tooth book. The shark tooth was super cool, and may be worth $15. I don't know, but it's a good life lesson in a sense of like, you made this choice to buy this book. Mom and Dad aren't going to bail you out of it.
Right.
So I feel like those are really good. Not me having to sit down and explaining how money works. He physically went and did it, giving him some choices in it.
Yeah, and your kids aren't old enough yet.
Yeah.
But they're going to get to the point where what you demonstrate and what you teach have to align.
Yeah.
Right? And they'll figure that out.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out really quickly.
I feel like that's especially true with pastors, right? Because
it's true with all parents, but I suppose with pastors.
Well, because you see so many pastors' kids who turn away from the faith because they aren't, what they're saying on Sunday is not lining up what's going on at home.
I think that's sometimes true.
That's something that I want to guard against. So that means I have to act more inappropriately at church, so it matches up with that, with how I act at home.
Yeah, because you actually, I don't know if you know this. In third service, you said a naughty word.
What did I say?
Did anybody else catch this, or are you guys just your consciences are so seared?
I didn't listen to Steve at all.
You said gosh.
Oh, okay, like a Christian cuss word?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I was like,
really?
Yeah, it really offended me.
That was on the lower.
Lower. My goodness.
But you were like,
where's the line drawn on what's a Christian cuss word and what's not? Right there. That I just crossed the line.
You did.
Was it on the lower end of the line? Or
like that's your first step across the border.
Gosh,
that was an illegal border crossing right there.
No big deal.
Leads to dang it and gosh darn.
Yeah, you're just running with it. Yep. Don't do that anymore.
Okay, I won't.
All right.
We didn't just say this on the podcast.
This podcast is going to get censored so hard.
Yeah. Probably. We should be done.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all. That is all the questions that I have anyway.
Good.
So
Good.
I think we got this.
You want a chip?
No, I do not want a chip. Do not go out and try
This
the
is a
IHOP
no.
chips. It's a no.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining.